Hi, Davy. I'm awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Movies, where I review the styles of movies I love, the alternative B-rated cult-style flicks. This one's definitely an alternative B-rated cult-style flick. Done by somebody who loves those kinds of movies, apparently. This movie was released in 2016, and was written and directed by Kevin Smith. Produced by Liz Destro, Jordan Masanto, and Jennifer Swalbach. Made by Starstream Media, Abuelita Films, XYZ Films, Destro Films, and Smodcast Pictures, and distributed by Invincible Pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, the second True North film, Yoga Hosers. The movie opens with our leads. Colleen McKenzie, played by Harley Quinn Smith, daughter of Kevin Smith, and Colleen Collette, played by Lily Rose Depp, daughter of Johnny Depp. And these are them reprising the roles that they played in the movie Tusk, where they were just the Colleens, the clerks. Kevin Smith decided to make a movie about this. And they are in a band with a guy named Ichabod, who is played by Adam Brody. Doesn't have a big part in this, isn't really that significant in this, but there's a lot of friends thrown in this. These girls work as clerks in a Canadian convenience store called Ed to Zed, which no is not a real place. And while they were in there rehearsing this interesting song, they had people outside waiting.
Sorry boot that. Sorry boot that.
Okay, I get it. You're Canadian. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of friends, a lot of cameos in this. For example, Johnny Depp's other child, Jack Depp, has a small part in this. One of the angry customers is played by Harley Morenstein, the guy from Epic Mealtime. And he is casted as Toilet Paper Man. Nice, Kevin. Very nice. The guy brings you on to make epic food and you cast him as Toilet Paper Man. After he angrily goes and buys his toilet paper and is walking home with it, he is attacked by something very small. And he says something that no guy should ever want to say.
Get out of my bomb!
Ever. A senior that Mackenzie likes, Hunter, invites them to a party with seniors. These two are sophomores, so, of course, to go, they have to go ask their parents. Starting with Mrs. Mackenzie, who is played by Harley Quinn Smith's real-life mother, Jennifer Swalbach Smith. She, of course, says no, and they also keep bringing up their menstrual cycles. Seriously, Kevin, what the hell is your problem? But she decides to let her go under one condition.
They get cute, they get cut.
That's a good condition. Now we see what makes them yoga hosers. The fact that not only are they hosers, which is basically like a Canadian term for like, you know, an idiot, loser. Basically what we would call like, you know, white trash or something. They also do yoga with a yoga instructor named Yogi Bayer. Spelled like that. And throughout the movie, he's apparently being given cease and desist things, but I don't know, that's clever though. And he is played by Justin Long, who was the lead in Tusk, the one that got turned into a walrus, that they mention many times in this movie. And then again, pretty much the entire cast of Tusk is in this movie, with the exception of Michael Park. He's the only one from Tusk not in this movie. Kevin Smith apparently did write a part for him, and he wanted to do it, but he had to decline because of his failing health, and he passed away a year later. Rest in peace, Michael Parks. In keeping with all the cameos in this movie, we meet Colette's dad's girlfriend, Tabitha, who is also the manager of the Ed to Zed, and it turns out her dad is the owner. Tabitha is played by Natasha Lyonne. By the way, there are so many cameos in this movie. If I did miss one or two, please forgive me. They don't like Tabitha, not just because she's their manager, but she's kind of a whiny manager to them, and she's also always trying to get Colette's dad to make them work harder. It explains why they have jobs, though. After they C-block Mr. Collette by singing a song that makes him emotional, we get another Tusk cameo. Genesis Rodriguez as their PE coach, Mrs. Wicklin. A PE coach that doesn't like them because they won't get off their stupid phones. Which is honestly why I definitely don't think I could be a teacher nowadays. I'd be smashing phones. After Miss Wicklin confiscates their phones, we get yet another cameo. Their history teacher is played by Vanessa Pateris, who is Johnny Depp's ex-girlfriend and mother of his two children, Jack and Lily Rose. So not only is this a cameo fest, but apparently it was a big, fun family project. Ms. Maurice tells her students about Adrien Arend, who was a Canadian Nazi sympathizer in Montreal. And he is played by Haley Joel Osment, who, during World War II, gathered some Canadians to their side of Nazi sympathizers so that they had Nazis in Canada. Which, by the way, this may not be the way it was done, but yes, Canada did have Nazi sympathizers too. But most of Quebec was not on this guy's side, except for this guy.
Wonderful, wonderful!
Andronicus Arcane, played by Ralph Garman, who is usually given a small part in Kevin Smith movies because he is Kevin Smith's co-host on their Hollywood Babylon podcast. He also does a lot of impressions. Basically, this is what Kevin Smith likes to do in pretty much all of his movies. He likes to give his friends a bunch of parts. Which is one of the many reasons I wish I was friends with Kevin Smith. Nurse Maurice goes on to tell them about how they had a small following in Quebec until the war was over. Arend was arrested and was imprisoned until his death, but Arcane was never found. The bell rings, so the Collines go to get their phones, and they get another visitor.
Bonjour.
Guy Lapointe, played by Johnny Depp. He has a bigger part in this movie than he had in Tusk. Guy is there to question them about a murder that happened of somebody they might recognize.
Oh, toilet paper man.
Yeah.
You know, ladies, I'm guessing he has a real name. And wouldn't it be ironic if it was something like Terry Paul Miller?
I'm telling you now that is one of the stupidest names I ever heard in my life.
Hey!
This man's name is de Francois Roy.
Oh, okay, so I guessed wrong. But I was close. After getting some information from them for a little bit, he does make a determination about their futures.
But I can promise you that you won't need algebra.
They'll be fine. They got rich dads. When they get back to Colette's house, their dad informs them that they do have to work that night, because he and Tabitha are going to Niagara Falls. Good dad. But this does mean that they can't go to that party tonight. But hey, at least at the store you get to meet Batman. And by Batman, I mean they have a cameo of Kevin Conroy, who was the voice of Batman in Batman the Animated Series. Rest in peace.
Come on, Robin. Let's get out of here.
I love you, Kevin. But Hunter calls to ask about them coming to the party, and they inform him that they cannot go. But then they have a suggestion. Why don't they just move the party to the Ed to Zed? The boys agree, and they're going to have a party.
Their farewell party, yo.
Okay, it turns out they're not having a party. They just want to kill the girls. But the girls are clueless, in many ways, so they decide they're going to close the store. But how? Wow. When the boys show up without anybody else, they just tell them they came anyways. The rest of the party did not want to come party at a convenience store. Which I call BS. I would love to party at a convenience store. But they wanted to hang out with these girls so much that they said screw their own party. So while Hunter goes off with Mackenzie, Gordon is there to keep Colette company.
Yeah.
She doesn't like him like that. As soon as Hunter is alone with Mackenzie, he unveils that he and Gordon are Satan worshippers, and they want to kill them because they need a virgin sacrifice. Okay.
That's my mom's Dayton knife pointed at your balls!
She's not interested in being slaughtered. Oh yeah, she'll be cruel, Elvis. Don't give a crap if you get it. He puts his knife down, so she puts her knife away. So I'm not going to pretend I understand that. I don't think anybody right now would blame you for stabbing him. Canadians. I'm guessing this is the same thing that killed Toilet Paper Man, whose real name I've already forgotten. So I guess you were onto something there. But what is it that's killing him? It's Kevin Smith as a bratwurst. A Nazi bratwurst. A Bratzy. Take it in. Out in the other room, Gordon's got something up his butt, too. Mackenzie runs out in time, though, to stop it from getting to Colette. And takes it to the microwave. It's got sauerkraut blood. That's the worst. They call the police, and yet another cameo as The police dispatch is played by Stan Lee. The legendary Stan Lee. Rest in peace. Of course, they don't really believe the Colleens, so the Colleens have to fight off the Bratzies.
I'm not even supposed to be here today!
Oh! Yes! Yes! That was a nice Clerks reference there. So now they're fighting these Bratzies with a hockey stick and a mop, and there's sauerkraut going all over the place, and I'm just really wanting a bratwurst right now. But once they're done fighting off all these Bratzies, they find the police, decided to come, and now the police think that they're the ones that killed Hunter and Gordon. So of course they arrest the Colleens. But while they're at the police station, they get a visitor. It's Guy Lapointe, who is led in there by Jason Mewes. Because we just gotta get in every cameo we can. Guy wants to talk to the girls about what happened. He's got a theory. Guy tells them how he does believe them in this whole Bratzi thing because he found the remains of one of them. And upon investigating, he found that the land that the Edazet is built on was once owned by the Canadian Führer. And then in French, Colette tells Guy that if he gets them out of there, that she will take him back to the Edazet and show him the secret passageway. But now I've got a question. Guy, wasn't your mole on the other side? When they get to the Edazet, the girls go to the bathroom to change out of their prison gear, and Guy hears a scream and runs in only to be struck with a needle. Turns out that the secret passage that Colette was lying about because she didn't know existed was actually there, and it was the toilet. Go figure. When Guy awakes, they are in a room with Andronicus Arcane, the Nazi from Berlin.
This is why I have an accent that sounds both scary and creepy.
Well, thanks for clearing that up. In an Al Pacino impression, he tells them what happened. That the Third Reich imprisoned him there until his bratwurst clones were fully grown, which would take about 100 years. So he cryogenically froze himself, but while the Colleens were rehearsing one day, there was a power surge that awoke him and the Bratzies before they were fully grown. So 70 years it took for the Bratzies to get to that size. Kind of wonder, what was another 30 gonna do? I'm also wondering, when am I gonna get a frickin' bratwurst? Arcane, though, tells him he did not want to be a Nazi. He wanted to be a sculptor. So for the past 6 months that he's been awake, he's been working on a sculpture. The first sculpture he's done in over 70 years.
The Golly Golem!
Canada? And the reason he wanted them there was not to hurt them. He just wants these phone-obsessed teenage girls to take pictures of his sculpture and put it all over social media. I don't think he realizes this would get him arrested. Problem is, the cops have their phones, and Guy's cell phone doesn't have a camera. In 2016?
I guess we have to go directly to phase 2 of my master plan.
Well, this should be good. He has the Bratzies going into the goalie.
Bring mine art to life!
He wants them, as the goalie, to go around and just kill every art critic around. Because it's thanks to the art critics that he had to become a Nazi. But the Colleens have a plan on how to stop the goalie. They're gonna do every yoga pose they know. What?
That's your plan?
Why do you have more moles? The Bratzies want to go after the Colleens, but Arcane just wants them to get on task and go after the haters, as he calls them. So they kill Arcane. Nice, but now they're going after the Colleens in that big, huge human meat suit. So if there's one thing we learn from these movies, it's that in Canada, they love to make things out of human flesh. So with their yoga, of all things, they fight the goalie, getting the Bratzies out one at a time, destroying them, and also a bunch of automatopoeia going on. I don't know. Kevin Smith does things. But it's working. I mean, one by one, Bratzies are coming out, getting squished, until there's one left. So, because of this, Guy was not completely pointless. Then again, even if he was, just be there. You're Guy Lapointe. Now the girls are local celebrities, but they still work at the Ed is Ed. And they still have their ways of getting out of working.
Oh my god, Colleen!
What?
Add another heart.
Gross. Now, in true Kevin Smith fashion, we gotta end this movie in a way that will completely and totally suck up to Canadians.
Oh, Canada.
So there you have it. That's the second and what will hopefully end up being the True North trilogy. This is the third movie, hasn't come out yet. Yoga Hosers. This movie didn't do very well in the box office. It had a $5 million budget and only did $38,000. Then again, kind of like Tusk, it had a very limited theater release. However, with the cult following it has gotten, DVD sales and whatnot, not to mention its constant streaming services thing, you can always find it on a few streaming services. I'm sure by now Kevin Smith has gotten his money back for this. The term Yoga Hoser was actually come up with by Scott Mosier. Apparently during the Smodcast podcast that he does with Kevin Smith, they were talking about a yoga instructor who had been raided by the Canadian police recovering stolen artwork, and Scott said the police must have been like, oh, who's this Yoga Hoser? And apparently Kevin Smith was like, I gotta use that somewhere. And decided to give it to his daughter and her friend, Lily Rose Depp. Like I had mentioned, they had a small part in the movie Tusk, where they played clerks at the Ed is Ed. He decided to make a movie about it. Apparently, Lily Rose Depp and Harley Quinn Smith have been friends since kindergarten, so that's why their chemistry is so good. They are real-life best friends. Even though, according to Kevin Smith, he never met Johnny Depp until Tusk. He needed somebody for Gila Point. He originally wanted it to be Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino turned it down, thinking it was a bigger role than it really was, and he just really didn't have the time with what he was working on at the time. And Lily Rose said, well, we can call my dad. And he was like, I have a few days off. If we can get it filmed in those few days, sure. But then after this, he wanted to do something more with Johnny Depp and wanted Gila Point back. Then again, I think we all did. It's funny to me, though, that, like I said, this is basically like a big family project. The entire Depp family and Smith family were in this. Not to mention, this is just what Kevin Smith does. He likes to put his friends in his movies. Friends he's been working with a long time, friends he's met along the way. For example, Harley Morenstein. I don't know if it was first Kevin Smith went on Epic Mealtime or Harley Morenstein was in Tusk, but ever since one of those two things, they've been doing a lot of stuff together. In fact, Kevin Smith has confirmed if and when the third one, Moose Jaws, ever comes out, Harley Morenstein will be in that one, as well as Gila Point, as well as the Yoga Hosers themselves, and probably every actor from Tusk that is still alive. As far as Moose Jaws goes, at the end of this movie, there is a little thing that says the Yoga Hosers will return in Moose Jaws. I'm wondering if that's going to come about. This was released in 2016, but it was done in 2015. So it's basically been 10 years at this point, and still no Moose Jaws. And I can only ask what's going on, Kevin Smith. Ever since you mentioned the concept of a Jaws-like movie, but with a freaking moose, I've been salivating! Seriously, I want Moose Jaws. But as of this filming, he just says it's coming. Last he's talked about it, he says it's still happening. When is it going to happen? Who knows? Interestingly enough, Kevin Smith played the Bratzi. That part wasn't originally supposed to be by Kevin Smith. It was supposed to be Jason Mewes was supposed to play the Bratzi. But apparently Jason Mewes tried, but could not handle the facial prosthetics and the makeup effects and stuff to play the Bratzi because he is extremely claustrophobic. And I've heard stories like that before of actors who are claustrophobic who tried desperately to do these things and just couldn't. Some were able to do it, but they talked about it was hell. Heck, I've heard actors who are not claustrophobic talk about doing this prosthetic process, and it's a nightmare. Because it is that thing where they have to put the big mold on your face, and you're only breathing through straws out of your nose, so they can make a mask for your face. But since Jason Mewes could not get over it and do this, he gave him a different small little part, and he played the Bratzi. Originally, he was not going to be in this movie at all. As far as my recommendation for this movie, when I first saw it, I wasn't crazy about it. I saw it in 2016 when it first came out on, I believe, Netflix. And I watched it and I was like, it's alright. No Tusk, but it's alright. As time has gone on, though, it's grown on me a bit. I still wouldn't say it's better than Tusk. I am one of those people who absolutely love that movie. But I would say it's better than my first impression of it. That's how I feel about it. It's one of those movies, if you've already seen it and you didn't like it, try watching it again. It grows on you, like it did me. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. Go into it with an open mind. Just accept that this is going to be ridiculous and stupid and have fun with it. So on that note, if you can do that, then yes, I definitely recommend check out the second in the True North trilogy, Yoga Hosers. So there you have it. That's my movie review this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post the videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. Tell me what you thought of Yoga Hosers. Tell me if you liked it better than Tusk. If you didn't like it as much as Tusk. Tell me if you're going to help me get Kevin Smith off his butt and get Moose Jaws out. Love you guys.